Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and friends beyond the binary, the results are in from the WDC report on a case of cheating in FMC Fewest Move Challenge. And we're going to go through it, okay? We're going to go right through it. We're basically going to take a really, really close look at the report right now, okay? If you don't like the idea of me reading something to you and potentially commenting on it, then see you later, I guess. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to take a look through the report, then we're going to take a look into the documents behind the report as well. Okay, here we go, everyone. Buckle up. As previously announced, the WCA Disciplinary Committee investigated concerns regarding Kalindu Sachintha Wejasundara's FMC result as Sri Lankan Nationals FMC 2024, where means of 20.33 and 19.67 were achieved in the first and second rounds respectively. OMG, WR, let's go. The full investigation has now concluded. The WDC has discovered evidence of the competitor using online tools, Rutro, and abusing his delegate status, Rutro, to obtain better results. Oh, that's disappointing, isn't it? I'm going to be using the most devastating dad word that can ever be used, which is that I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm disappointed. All right. Kalindu, I'm disappointed. Given the unprecedented nature of this case and the extreme breach of trust involved, the WDC spent significant time analysing the case and deliberating on a punishment. Some of the factors the WDC considered include, but are not limited to, his status as a WCA delegate and breaking the trust that comes with that role, that's big things, jeopardising the results of competitions by analysing scrambles prior to the competitions, including the use of third-party software. Ugh. Refusal to confess, even when given clear evidence. Oof. And the potential damage to the reputation of the WCA, the WCA. The full punishment for Kalindu is as follows. Buckle up, Buttercup, because here we go. A ban of 8 years from competing in all official WCA competitions. Oof. The immediate removal of his role as delegate by the WCA board. Oof. Disqualification, DNF of all results achieved by Kalindu at competitions where he was listed as a delegate. So he's not losing all his results, but he is having all the ones DNF from when he was a delegate, apart from scrambles for the Sri Lankan Nationals 2024, because he didn't handle scrambles. Anyway, the WDC has no reason to doubt the validity of the results obtained by any other competitor at the effective competitions. Phew, so he didn't drag anyone else down with him, at least, apart from like the Sri Lankan cubing community in general, you could argue. WCA delegates hold an incredible amount of responsibility and trust in ensuring fairness at WCA competitions. Any breach of this trust significantly impacts the community locally and globally. The WDC, the WCA board, and the entire WCA staff and community are committed to addressing any violations. Sure. Any actions that compromise these values will not be tolerated and will continue to be addressed appropriately. We also emphasize the importance of transparency and accountability in all WCA operations. We affirm our commitment to these principles with the publication of this report to the general public. The entire report, alongside this conclusion, can be found here. Ooh, lovely stuff. Wilson, my dad said he was disappointed in Kalindu and he doesn't even cube. He knows though. He knows. That's big dad energy. Stu Cube, cubing jail life sentence is crazy. It's basically a cubing jail life sentence, isn't it? 8 years. Wow, not me cubes. A speedcuber could be born at the beginning of his ban, learn cubing, and get WR at the end of his ban. Let's all make a little pact with each other, everyone. Let's check in 8 years' time and check which under 8-year-old Chinese speedcuber currently has the world record, okay? I will see you back here in 8 years. Put it in your diary, and we'll see which Chinese prodigy is currently under 8 years old and killing 3x3 world records. StuCube Yiheng will be an adult before Kalindu returns to take back his WR. Someone on my Discord the other day was saying, oh, yo, I'll be 23 before he can compete again. And then I did the maths in my head about how old I'd be, and I did not like the results. I did not like it. Cube Alex has got an alarm set. Good on you. Curious Nick still flabbergasted that he thought he could get away with it. Right, very good point. And that leads us on to the report, everyone. The WCA Disciplinary Committee Investigation Report. Case Investigation on Kalindu Sachintha Wejasundara report. But this was interesting. Carter Kukala. I didn't know he was part of this. Sebastiano Tronto. I don't know who he is, so I couldn't be surprised. Okay, there's lots in here, right? And I'm not going to go through this entire document because it's 19 pages long and I don't know how to do FMC, all right? So I can't look into FMC techniques. James, that's disgusting. And I can't really comment on a lot of this stuff. But what I can comment on is what I think are the most important parts, and that's for me, as a non-FMC pro, Chapter 4, evidence from the Mallard logs. What's Mallard? Listen, shut up. We'll get there, alright? We'll explain it. And Chapter 6, the Scramble generation dates. In my mind, these are the like 2 barrels of the smoking gun in this investigation. Alex says half of it's just solutions anyway, so you're good. Thanks, brother. Appreciate it. I will not be looking at Chapter 2, FMC techniques and software. Boring. That's James's area of expertise, really. Okay, let's have a look at Chapter 4 on page 7. Evidence from Mallard's logs. Okay, we're gonna fly through this one because this is pretty damning. Okay, in order to determine if Kalindu may have prepared his solutions beforehand, we asked Jonas Balsfullen, the creator of Mallard, to check if the scrambles for Sri Lankan nationals were submitted to this application at any point. Mallard, how do we explain Mallard, James? Mallard is a piece of software that will generate optimal solutions for FMC solves, correct? So in order to determine if Kalindu may have prepared his solutions beforehand, we asked Jonas Balsfullen, the creator of Mallard, to check if the scrambles for Sri Lankan nationals FMC 2024 were submitted to this application at any point. He confirmed that none of the scrambles had been submitted before their respective attempt took place. Wait, hold on. Later we decided to ask also about the scrambles for 2 other competitions that were held before Sri Lankan FMC nationals. Marawila Cubing Challenge 24 and Rajarata Cubing Challenge 24. These competitions had 1 fewest FMC attempt each, and Kalindu obtained results in 24 and 22 respectively. Pretty good results. Kalindu was the only delegate at these competitions. We were able to determine that the scramble for Marawila Cubing Challenge, March 9th and 10th, appears in Mallard's logs for the first time on the 6th of March. That's 4 days before the competition. Similarly, the scramble for Rajarata Cubing Challenge on March 16th appears on the 13th. This shows beyond any reasonable doubt that there has been a scramble leak for these 2 competitions, and Kalindu, as the only listed delegate, is to be held responsible for it. Oof. Okay? Big oof. That's pretty concrete proof. Clearing this up, Parabola, Mallard doesn't generate optimal, it generates optimal that a human is able to find. Okay. Nissi generates optimal. Okay, cool. Thank you, Daniel. Appreciate that. Oh, I don't understand what's going on here, though. It says up in this top chapter, he confirmed that none of the scrambles had been submitted before their respective attempt took place. But that's specifically about Sri Lankan nationals. Right, okay, so Sri Lankan nationals, there's no evidence of that, but these other 2 competitions, there is. Right. Yeah, StuCube's bringing up an interesting point that we're going to get to, right? So that's Chapter 4, the Mallard logs. And then here we go. Chapter 6, right? Here we go. When we communicated that, so Chapter 6, the Scramble generation dates. When we communicated the sanctions to Kalindu, we also asked if he could provide us with the Scramble files for his last 3 FMC competitions. We asked for Scramble files because they contain the date of the Scramble generation in 3 distinct locations. The JSON file, the PDF files, and the metadata of those PDF files. These files could therefore provide additional evidence against Kalindu, or on the contrary, evidence for his innocence. While the JSON files are easy to forge by editing the date, I hope you're not taking notes, everyone, it is much more difficult, though not impossible, for PDF files. Kalindu sent us the JSON files only. Sus. That's really sus. We are fairly certain that Kalindu did not edit the files before sending to us. Indeed, they show the following generation dates, which directly contradict his claims. Oh, so not only did he submit the most sussy files, he didn't actually mess with them, so that's weird. James, I find the wording of this bit super funny. There are some interesting, it's not without its challenges, this document, in terms of understanding it, but it's complicated. We are fairly certain that Kalindu did not edit these files. Indeed, they show the following generation dates, which directly contradict his claims. And here we go. Look at this. This is really disappointing. Yeah, James, I find the wording of this bit super funny. There are 3 files. One's easily editable. That's the only one he sent. Lol, he didn't edit though. That is fair. Look at this. This is heartbreaking. The scrambles for Marawila Cubing Challenge 24 were generated on January 26, 43 days before the competition. The scrambles for Rajatara Cubing Challenge were generated on February 4th, 41 days before the competition. The scrambles for Sri Lankan nationals, we don't have anything about Sri Lankan nationals in Mallard, but they were generated 43 days before the competition. Now, very, very valid points coming in the chat right now. Ejend, the scrambles for Marawila and Rajatara, for the 2 competitions that Scrambles had turn up in the Mallard logs. He generated those 43 days and 41 days before, but as we've just seen, he didn't put those into Mallard until like 3 or 4 days out. Alex Mass bringing up the fair point, when you finish the assignment on the day it's given. Yeah, it looks like that. He had these Scrambles forever. These extremely early generation dates caused great concern in the WDC because it's sus. Super sus. Not only do they show beyond any reasonable doubt that Kalindu lied to us, womp womp, disappointed, but they also put the secrecy of the Scrambles at risk for these competitions. Disclosing to Kalindu that we did not believe his claims and we were convinced he cheated, we asked him 3 questions. Once again, whether he cheated, whether he leaked or shared the Scrambles, and whether he tampered with the Scrambles in any way, for example, by filtering them. Don't know what that means. If you know what that means, put it in the chat. Kalindu responded by denying cheating accusations. Curious Nick in the chat does not like that. I don't like that. He responded by denying cheating accusations and any improper use of the Scrambles. He later justified the discrepancy on the dates by saying that his device's date and time were incorrectly set 40 days off. Hey, buddy, that's not how the internet works there, guy. I don't think it's physically... I'm not a computer person, but certainly as a Mac boy, which I am, as a Mac boy, you can't connect to the internet without the clock setting itself and the date setting itself. Do not lie to me. James, filtering would be if he genned a whole bunch of sets and only used the easy one. Disappointing. The WDC does not believe this claim because it's stupid, but as some websites, including both the WCA site and various Google products, which are used as part of the delicate workflow, would be blocked off due to the SSL TLS certificate expiring during the time frame in question. Can I edit this doc and just add in also, it's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. So, Wilson, he's straight up gaslighting the WCA, yeah. Conclusions. WDC believes the evidence presented above is sufficient to conclude the following. Kalindu knowingly lied to the WDC about when he genned Scrambles, and he submitted FMC Scrambles for 2 official competitions to an online tool, Mallard, before the event took place. Considering the above conclusions, in addition to the analysis of Kalindu's solves at Sri Lankan Nationals FMC 24 and his alleged extremely quick progression in FMC, that got everyone's alarm bells going, didn't it? We believe this is sufficient to prove beyond reasonable doubt that Kalindu's results at Sri Lankan Nationals FMC 24 were not obtained legitimately. And then, ironically, he got the world record for... Now, I've got to be careful about this. It's not the longest ban ever, but he got the world record for the longest unconditional ban. StuCube, Kalindu actually has the car from Back to the Future, so it's understandable that he submitted them 40 days before. He was hitting 88 miles an hour and just turning back time. He had Doc there with him. He charged up the flux capacitor, travelled 40 days back in time. I'm not going into the solutions. Dang, so 8 years. What is the longest ban? Oh, Wilson, I'm glad you asked, because let's go. Here's something fun you can do this afternoon, everyone. Something fun, you can go to the WorldCube Association, then you can go to Disciplinary Log, and you can have a look through all the old things. Let's search for the word ban. A lot of this is, Jesus. I shouldn't drink 7-Up on stream. This was a bad choice. Oh, James has got it in the chat. Matches Kuti is the longest ban so far, but he has a conditional ban. He's allowed to come back once certain conditions are met, beyond just waiting until the end of the ban. I believe he yoinked some prize money. Was that the person who did turns and inspection? What does he think he's solving? Clock? He was doing turns and inspection. So you can go into the disciplinary log right now, and you can have a look through all the bans, which is pretty fun, and you can dive deep into the reports and look at all the times they were asking for applicants. I mean, you know what I would like to say is a massive good on ya to our people here who did this report, who did this work. Carter Kukala and Sebastiano Tronto. I want to give a big hey, what's up, nice job everyone, good on you champions, to Carter Kukala and Sebastiano Tronto, because it's an unenviable job being on the WDC, isn't it? You know, nobody really wants that job, but these guys did it, and they're probably volunteers, because most people on the WCA are volunteers. Oh, John Baxter coming in with the defense. Date time can be spoofed on a computer? On the computer? Not if you're using the websites that he was using to generate the Scrambles, I think, John. I think that's the case they were making. Wilson, I can find all the cheaters now. Yeah, you can, buddy. Have fun with that. It's a good page. You know what you could do for me this week, everyone? Share a video. Share a video on your feed. If you've got access to share a video on your, on your YouTube feed, do that for me. Spread the love. I'm trying to hit 3,500 subscribers. Right, I'm going to go now. Goodbye, everyone. It's been a time, hasn't it?